What was the very first symptom that you noticed before you even knew you had Hashimoto's, before you even considered that there was something going on? What was it that you were struggling with? For me, it was fatigue, overwhelming tiredness, like falling asleep, slurring my words while reading to my kids. Fatigue, so tired, bone weary. Like I didn't know that something was going on yet. I just knew that I was exhausted. Maybe you are also exhausted, or maybe for you it was something else. Maybe it was your weight was creeping up or your hair started to fall off. But today we're going to talk about sleep, because when you are so exhausted, or anytime you're dealing with an autoimmune condition, you want to make sure that you are getting everything you can out of your sleep. You're optimizing your different stages of sleep. You're making sure that you're getting enough hours of sleep and that the quality is what you want. So welcome to the Health with Hashimoto's podcast. I am Esther Youngkin. I'm a registered nurse. I am the mom of 4. And so when I was falling asleep while reading to my kids, I just assumed it was because I had 4 kids. At the time, I can vividly picture one instance when I was slurring my words and nodding off while reading to my kids. I can picture where I was. I can picture that I had, I think, 3 kids, one on my lap. And the one that was on my lap was a toddler. So I'm sure I had another one, like the newborn in bed for a nap or something. I just thought it was because I had so many little kids and because I was working full time. I just assumed it was just part of life. That's what we hear. It is normal to be so tired when you are a mom, but it's not normal. It's common, but it's not normal. Common does not mean normal. You are not designed to be so exhausted, and there are things you can do about it. So let's talk about the benefits of sleep. It's been a little while since I explained my logo, so if you look on the cover art for any of the episodes or the podcast in general, you'll see a 5-petaled flower. That is actually a Venn diagram, and the 5 petals or the 5 circles overlap to include the whole you, your whole health. The 5 petals, the 5 different parts of the whole you, represent your body, your mind, your spirit, your diet, and your environment. All those things contribute to your overall health, and sleep impacts all 5 of them. So let's go from body. What does sleep do for your body? Well, number 1, sleep is the time when your body is healing. We know that your body is renewing, it's growing, it's healing, it's cleaning things up while you are sleeping. During deep sleep, your body is ramping up the tissue repair and the muscle growth and anything that's happening with your proteins. Your growth hormone, which is important for recovery, is mostly released at night. When your kids are sick because all of a sudden they're sleeping more, right? Because they are trying to heal. Their bodies are prioritizing healing. Another thing that happens while you're sleeping for a physical benefit is your immune system starts to get a boost. When you're sleeping, your body produces cytokines. Those are proteins that fight infection and inflammation. And of course, with autoimmune problems, we have a lot of inflammation and we want to cut down on the inflammation. That is one of our number 1 top priorities when we have an autoimmune problem, is to cut down on inflammation, because then your immune system can start to do what it's supposed to do. It's not going to go as haywire. We want to lower inflammation, and that's one thing that good quality sleep does. Good quality sleep, or enough sleep and consistent sleep, it also is really good for your heart. It reduces the stress on your cardiovascular system, just getting enough sleep. And the final thing that I'm going to talk about that happens while you are sleeping is in your brain. So while you are sleeping, your actual brain shrinks a tiny bit, allowing for more fluid, more cerebral fluid to get up into your brain. And your brain actually runs like a dishwasher cycle. It gets more fluid flowing through your brain, and it cleans out the broken things. It cleans out the old cells, the broken cells, the things that don't need to be there. It's called the glymphatic system, which is your lymphatic system in your brain. And we need things to be cleaned out in there. Like you might have heard of amyloid proteins. We think those might be related to Alzheimer's. There was some really sketchy research, as far as sketchy, I mean photoshopped research, that has been exposed over the last, I think, year. And hundreds of studies were based on that one fraudulent study, which was about amyloid proteins. So I'm still not quite sure now, like, what is the truth, but we do know that during sleep, your body runs that dishwasher cycle and cleans out amyloid proteins that are maybe related to Alzheimer's. But no matter how it's working, we do know that the better quality and quantity sleep you get, your risk for Alzheimer's goes down. So sleep is important for your physical health, is important for your immune health. What about diet? Let's just skip to diet. When you get hungry, sometimes you're actually needing nourishment. Sometimes you eat because you're looking for energy, and you're looking for energy because you are so tired. Your brain knows that you need more fuel. Your brain knows that you need more energy. And so where are you going to find that? Well, you didn't get it last night while you were sleeping, and whatever's going on has you so fatigued. So your brain is like, oh, you know what? Let's reach for those carbs, because that carbohydrate food is going to have fast energy. We need energy. So let's eat. People who are short on sleep, even by an hour, eat more calories during the day. And one reason is because your brain is looking for energy. Another reason could be because you're staying up later and you're just snacking more, late into the night. That could be another reason why people who have less hours of sleep eat more calories on average. But those are not the only problems. When you are short on sleep, it also impacts your ghrelin and your leptin levels. So those are two hormones. The ghrelin is your hunger hormone, and the leptin is the one that tells you that you're full. And when you are short on sleep, you have too much ghrelin, so you're feeling hungry too much, and you have less leptin, meaning it takes more food to make you feel full, to make you feel satiated. That's all from getting too little sleep. Crazy, right? You don't think about a lack of sleep impacting so many different things. But there's more. There's always more. Remember the 5-petaled flower: body, mind, spirit, diet, environment. Every single thing is impacted. So what about your spirit? Now, one of my favorite stories in the Bible is, it's either Elijah or Elisha. He had a huge event. He was an Old Testament prophet. Like, he faced off against the evil king and queen. His life was at risk. His side won. But then he got scared of the queen and he ran out away from her so that she wouldn't kill him. He gets to this tree and he lays down under it and he's like, God, please just kill me. I am ready to die. And so an angel came and woke him up and said, I made a meal for you. So he gets up and he eats this big meal, and then he goes back to bed. He takes another long nap. And the point of that story, or at least the point that I see, is God provides for our needs. We do have a need for good food and good sleep, but also our relationships. We need healthy relationships. When you're short on sleep, do you get snappy? Do you get cranky? Are you faster to get irritated with somebody? Getting short on sleep impacts our relationships. It impacts every single part of us. So we talked about body, mind, spirit. No, we talked about body, diet, spirit. What about our mind? I just said you're going to get more irritable when you're short on sleep, but there's other things that happen mentally and emotionally. When we are sleeping, that's when our memory consolidates. It's when things that you did or learned throughout the day, they get stored while we're sleeping. If you miss good sleep, you're going to be foggy. You're going to have more forgetful moments. Good sleep is important. I don't want to make this a depressing episode. Like, there is hope. I have a free solution I'm going to tell you about at the end. It's my jumpstart to refreshing sleep and rest. It's a 5-day series. So don't worry. This is not going to be all doom and gloom. I just want you to know that it is so important. And I also want you to know, if you're exhausted, it might not be the fault of your sleep. You might have gone to bed on time. You might have done all the things right. And it's your Hashimoto's that's causing a problem with your fatigue and it's causing some brain fog. We don't want any of those problems. All those symptoms are cries for help. They're our body saying, hey, something's going on. Let's address it. And that is why I have the Hashimoto's decoded root causes for you, so you could figure out what to focus on. It's why I have this refreshing sleep and rest little 5-day course so that you can work on improving different things. The sleep and rest course was actually created when I was struggling so hard with my fatigue, when I was falling asleep while reading books. I remember one time I lay down in bed. It was middle of the day, and I know one of my kids, I don't remember which one, was sitting like over top of my head, not on my head, but closer to the wall and talking to me. And I remember telling him, I am going to go to sleep. I'm kind of ignoring you. Like, I was very honest. I fell asleep. I didn't even know when I fell asleep, but the next thing I knew, I was waking up and there was no kid there. So I have no idea like how long he talked to me before I was just, dead asleep. Sometimes you just feel like a bad mom, right? I do remember telling him, I am going to take a nap. You can keep talking, but I'm not listening. I'm falling asleep. Like, at least I remember saying that. So it wasn't as if I was completely ignoring him. Like, he had warning. He could have quit talking, but, some people just will keep on talking. I'm sure you have people like that in your life, right? All right. So other mental or emotional effects of sleep or not enough sleep is your stress resilience. Your sleep buffers your cortisol. Your cortisol is your stress hormone. When you are sleeping, it helps your cortisol. So we want, of course, good quality sleep. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It is one thing that we focus on a lot in the Hashimoto's root causes and the holistic Hashimoto's course, because stress is so big for most people. It is one of the biggest root causes. We want to help lower cortisol. We want to get the stress down. All right, what else does sleep do? We talked about physical, we talked about diet, I talked about some mental stuff, and then the relationships. When it comes to that environmental little petal of the flower, I don't know that sleep is going to impact your environment as much as your environment is going to impact your sleep. In the 5-day free course in the Jumpstart to Refreshing Sleep and Rest, one of the days is talking about your sleeping area and how you can make it more conducive to sleep. Like, one thing you probably know already is that blue light interferes with your sleep. You might feel like you can stare at your phone or watch TV or be on your computer right before you go to sleep and you can fall asleep instantly. Like, you might know that about yourself, but what you might not be feeling is that blue light exposure impacts your melatonin. You can still be sleeping, but you're not getting good quality sleep. You're going to feel less rested in the morning when your eyes are exposed to that blue light, those blue light rays before bed. And technically, I think it's like 2 hours before bed. So things that you can do to protect your eyes from the blue light. You can get those amber colored blue light blocking glasses. You can wear those. You can turn your screens onto night mode. You can do that on both Apple and Android. Look for the night mode option. There's a lot of different things you can do. But as far as preparing your bedroom, just try to get electronics, screens out of your bedroom. That might be a huge adjustment for you and your typical wind down. And so I never tell you you have to do anything or you should do things this way. I say, here is what is best for your health, an absence of blue light. Now, how can you make it work for you? So maybe you really love to watch a movie before bed. Maybe you're going to choose to put on some amber light glasses and watch everything. Your brain will adapt. Yes, it will look a little funny for a little while or forever because it's blocking certain wavelengths of light. It's changing things, but you're going to be able to I hope, get used to it. Maybe for you, it's you put your phone in a drawer, you put your phone somewhere else so that you're not even tempted to open it and stare at it before you go to bed. There are different ways that you can make it work for you, and only you know what is going to work best for you. And that is always what I want you to be able to figure out is what is going to work best for you. Here's the problem. Here are potential solutions. Which solution is going to be the most simple for you? So for me, I choose to not look at my phone. When I'm on top of things, I put it in my underwear drawer when I put my watch in my drawer. I have a fitness watch, and so it has that green light every once in a while. So I put that watch in my underwear drawer at bedtime, and I put my phone in there, and then I close the drawer because, I'm going to open it up in the morning to get my deodorant and my underwear and my socks. It works perfectly for me when I do it. Sometimes I don't do it, and I usually look at my phone, and I don't want to. So for me, I have to remember that I have a commitment to myself to have better sleep. And one way that I facilitate better sleep is by putting my phone in my drawer. I just have to remember that commitment to myself, right? But I do have a lot of other things in place to help me get better sleep. And I have those things for you too, because sleep is so important. Along those environmental lines, there are other things you can do to create a nice environment for yourself or for your sleep. So we have a new kitten in the house. One of our cats had 5 kittens, and we were able to find homes for 4. We have not found a home for the 5th one. He is an adorable orange little kitten, and he is very social, very social. He was so sad when his last brother left. He wandered around the house crying for days, just looking for his sibling and wanting to have a playmate. Well, he finds my kids in the middle of the night. One of my kids, my 11-year-old this morning, was super grumpy because he said the kitten climbed up on his bed multiple times overnight and woke him up. Now, if you are a mom, you have experience waking up multiple times and, a baby to care for. Well, my 11-year-old does not need to take care of a kitten. So we talked about ways that he can make sure that his sleep is uninterrupted. One thing is he's in a temporary bedroom right now. He doesn't want to move back into his real bedroom because that's where his brother sleeps. They share a room and his brother keeps him up at night. So we talked about, well, if you're in your bedroom, you can close the door and the kitten can't get in there. In this temporary space right now, he doesn't have a door, so the kitten can just come in. And then we need to talk to the brother about, how about you not talk after bedtime? When we say goodnight and turn out the light, that's it. No more noise. I think I've said that about 1,000 times, maybe just in the past month. But it bears repeating because sleep is so important. So for my 11-year-old, he knows that the cat woke him up. He knows that if he's in his bedroom, he can close the door. That is a simple and sustainable solution. Dealing with his brother, not so simple, but something that we can tackle together. And that is what I want you to be able to figure out. I want to give you different tips and different solutions, and you can say, oh, this will work for me. During the 5 days in the Jumpstart to Refreshing Sleep and Rest, we talk about, the 2 different trains your mind can get on, because your mind can totally derail sleep. And so I talk to you about the 2 different things that really derail sleep and how you can get that back on track to facilitate better sleep. Every single day is on a different area. And right now I am collecting data. So the Jumpstart to Refreshing Sleep and Rest is free inside our Health with Hashimoto's community over on school.com, SKOOL.com. It is free, the Health with Hashimoto's community. In the classroom tab, you'll see there's a community tab where there's lots of chat and, make some friends, ask questions, share wins, share struggles. There's all of that in the chat. And then there's a community tab or the classroom tab. And that is where you will find things like Hashimoto's Decoded Root Causes Revealed. It's where you're going to find the Holistic Hashimoto's course. Now, a tip, if you are going to take the Holistic Hashimoto's course and you want to pay with your FSA or HSA money, you need to do that through my website, not through school. school does not accept HSA or FSA. So if you want to pay with your HSA or FSA card, you have to do it through my website. You can always send me a message in school, say, hey, I want to use my HSA. Can you send me the link? And I will do that. Also in the classroom is where you will find the free Jumpstart to Refreshing Sleep and Rest. It is a 5-day series, and I would love to know your data. So if you could share with me, like, this is how I was sleeping before. These are the things I implemented, and this is how I'm sleeping now. Or maybe you wear an Oura ring or a fitness watch, and it tracks your different stages of sleep, and it helps you figure out, how many hours of deep sleep you're getting, how many hours of REM sleep, how many times did you wake up. If you have that type of data, I would love to know it, because I will be teaching this 5-day course to another group. And I would love to have some stories. So if you are willing to go through it, number one, it's going to help you get better sleep. And that is, of course, the goal. We want you to be sleeping better. I want you to have better quality sleep. I want you to have better quantity sleep. I want you to wake up feeling rested and energized. I want you to have better health, because your body is healing and your cortisol is coming down and your inflammation is coming down while you're sleeping. Your immune system is working better when you're awake. Like, that is what we want. So that is goal number one, that you have improved health because of this. And then I would love to have an additional goal so that I can share the fact this program works. So come on over to our community, Health with Hashimoto's, and it is on school.com, SKOOL, and go through the Jumpstart to Refreshing Sleep and Rest, and then let us know in the community what changed for you. Are you feeling better? Are you feeling more refreshed? Are you feeling better rested now that you've done this Jumpstart? Let us know over in the community. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Please discuss any concerns and plans with your trusted healthcare professional. If you found this episode helpful, will you please share it with a friend? I'll see you next week on the Health with Hashimoto's podcast.